Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Jamestown Public School Board to order. It is Monday, May 5th, 2025, and we're in the Thompson room of the middle school. Please note that we had a standards-based work session at 4:30, so as you saw us all walking in tonight, that's where we were at, and that was in the central office conference room. I'd like to welcome all of you to the meeting tonight, and thank you for attending. We will get to all of the student announcements fairly shortly into the program, and we'll have some instructions for you to come up over here and get your award at that time. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any conflicts of interest this evening for the board? Any conflicts of interest? Any conflicts of interest? If not, moving forward to our consent. Oh, we forgot school board norms. Jason, would you please read our school board norms?
The board developed norms are to share and respect opinions and speak with united voice once a decision has been reached. Execute all duties of the school board in compliance with North Dakota Century Code. Properly prepare for meetings. Commit to assessing board effectiveness and ensure high-quality governance for all stakeholders.
Thank you, Jason. Now moving to our consent agenda. Is there anything a board member would like removed from the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion? Motion by Jamie? Second by Jason. We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Moving into our regular meeting, we're going to have a recognition. We're going to do this in 3 groups, and then we'll take a photo. And I'm going to have some small gifts over here for each individual as your name is called. Please come over here and meet me. Parents, feel free to come right up in front and get some very good photos.
Recognizing for speech the WDA champions, we have Aiden Lawrence, storytelling, Chloe Smith, speech to inform, Matthew Machenbacher, impromptu speaking, Emma Hoke, speech to entertain, state champion, Emma Hoke, speech to entertain, the CST A&D All-State Award, Sophia Billowith and Matthew Machenbacher. Under drama, the NDHSAA one-act play Outstanding Actors, CC Malding and Sophie Hassenberger. Or Hassenbergen, excuse me.
Doing choir? Am I doing choir? Okay. Okay, for choir, we have all state choir awards. Eden Ellenson, 10th grade. Samuel Perlyberg, 10th grade. Shelby Dunwoody, 11th grade. Grace Billowith, 12th grade. All right, and for Class A State Vocal Music, Outstanding Performance, Grace Billowith, Abigail Bohm, Sophie Bratton, Ivy Cordell, Eden Ellingson, Emma Fleeth, Margaret Godbolt, Jovi Taylor, Sigrid Tweeten, Aaliyah Tyson, Maya Tyson, Annabelle Webster. No one? Class A state vocal music star rating: Grace Billowith, Abigail Boehm, Sophie Bratton, Ivy Cordell, Eden Ellingson, Emma Fleeth, Margaret Godbolt, Jovi Taylor, Singer Tweeten, Elia Tyson, Maya Tyson, Annabelle Webster, Aiden Lawrence, Braylon Geardes, Kaylin Rohrbach, Samuel Perlyberg. Okay. Again, no one over here.
Okay, for orchestra, All Straight Orchestra, Aaliyah Tyson. WDA Orchestra received state stars. Those members are Aaliyah Tyson, Maya Tyson, Maggie Stegmiller, Addison Marker, Autumn Roberts, Belle Schustrom, Amber Lintz, Anya Lenhart, Noah Sagasser, Emily Trevithick, Nicholas Wellborn, Brody Ziegler, Luke Lefevre, Hayden Olson, and Marissa Molson.
Even go inside the pretty one. Then we'll look for a better picture.
Push it together just a little bit. So everybody, yep. Parents, come.
One more, sorry.
We also have some band All-State Awards for Olivia Corinna, All-State Band, Keen Rorda, All-State Orchestra, Maya Tyson, All-State Orchestra. Also WDA Outstanding Performance for Keen Rorda, Outstanding Performance on Trombone Solo, and Olivia Corinna and Maya Tyson, Outstanding Performance on Clarinet and Flute Duet.
Congratulations to everyone. Moving on in our agenda, under correspondence, we have a thank you card from the family, for remembrance from the family of Shelley Anderson. And we also got some nice treats, so thank you for those as well. Nothing under reports. Under strategic plan, progress monitoring 1, strategic focus 1, culture of learning, goal 3 and 4. Dr. Leck.
So in this, you have the progress monitoring report. We do have 2 goals. They're very similar goals. If you remember, these are 2 of our goals in which we've inventoried separate activities. We categorize those activities, but then we specify, and we're trying to improve specifically on a handful of those activities, or particular categories. So I've given you a lot of data, even though I'm not sure I'm going to expound on each of these slides, rather than just to say there's a lot of activities that our staff is in our different buildings are committing to, an awful lot of activities, and that's recognized even just looking at slide 6, for example, at the elementary level, across our 6 different categories that we've made for engagement, 26 activities on average per building, so 180 total. That's just one example of a lot of the different engagement activities that our staff and our buildings are doing at every level, but we are specifically targeting on parental engagement events and cultural engagement. Those were our two activity areas, or 2 categories, I should say, that we were, our goal is designed around having at least one of those per quarter. At all levels, they exceed that. If you look at elementary, that's about a little over 16 different engagement strategies per building on average. If you look at the middle school, they also show they've met that with 9 different activities inventoried for engagement events and cultural engagement. High school inventory, again, you're seeing meeting those by quarter, 31 total, 31 total, and then 8 in parent engagement and cultural engagement events. And I'm going to talk about the overall progress monitoring when I touch on the wellness as well. So the wellness identifies 5 different categorical areas. Our focus is on belonging. And so we were, again, you'll see kind of a similar trend if you, in the elementary level, about 24 per building, or shade under that for overall wellness activities. And for belonging, over that 1 per quarter, and this was about 9.4 per building, so about 2 per quarter or 2.5 per quarter. At the middle school, you saw the 13 activities around wellness and 1 per quarter. They're right at the goal for belonging. High school, very similar as well, 20 and then 4 per quarter. Overall, you certainly met these goals. I think from a central office perspective, I need to be a little bit more prescriptive on how I'm defining what those categorical activities are, what criteria they should meet to make sure that we are honing in on those particular activities. They're certainly meeting them. These things are happening. I think at the building level, from me, they need a little more direction in terms of what do I define as an activity to support belonging. Parent engagement activities, what are those criteria? They're certainly doing those, but I think I can be a little bit more prescriptive in terms of exactly what I'm looking for. They do a great job in inventorying. I'm appreciative of all the things that the schools are doing. And if we want to continue to build on enhancing activities that support belonging, parental engagement, cultural activities, like I said, I feel like I need to be a little bit more directive in terms of specifying exactly what we're looking for. They are doing a fantastic job, though, certainly overachieving well beyond what our expectations are, and making a huge commitment to engage and to build a system for wellness within our student body. So with that, I would stand for questions, if you have any, or action to
Any questions on the board? Okay, all right. And then we'll probably have a strategic planning meeting also coming up in the next 4 to 6 weeks here with schedules. And if there are no questions, is there a motion for approval? Motion by Melissa? Is it second by Owen? I heard it coming from that direction. So we have a motion, a second for approval of Strategic Focus 1, Culture of Learning, Goal 3 and 4. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. We have Board Education next, Strategic Competency, Partnership with the Art Center. Mindy Schmitz, please come forward.
I was ready for the new business, not right now, so. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me again. We definitely appreciate our partnership with Jamestown Public Schools. And we're looking very forward to next year when we have the culinary kitchen and are working with the students from the Career and Tech Center. We're really excited about that. I can't pass up an opportunity to talk about our campaign, so I'll pass out the new campaign booklets. I'm not quite sure if I have enough for everybody, but I'm going to keep one for myself. In the booklet, it talks about our timeline, and it talks about our partnerships and how much money we raised. So far to date, we've raised almost 1.8 million, and our goal is now 2.7 million. So we've got a little ways to go, but we're chipping at it as we go. Every day we get a little bit more surprised by who's donating and how we're getting some money in. So we've gotten a lot of response from our partnership with Jamestown Public School in the kitchen, and then also with our art therapy grant that we got. I'm not sure if you saw that, but we got a $235,000 grant to do an art therapy program. And so we're doing a pilot project right now with some students from Lincoln and Washington that's actually going to end on Thursday. And so that's pretty exciting, and that's going to be in that space too during the day. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. So If you haven't been by there, you should drive by. The two big windows in the corners are going to be 10-foot windows now. I was like, oh, I didn't realize they were going to be that big, but they're really going to be big, and it's going to be a lot of fun to look at. And so that's just a quick synopsis of the campaign. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? The culinary space looks like it's
Okay.
nicely drawn out there, so.
Well, that's good. So while I'm here tonight, we are entering an agreement, hopefully again with Jamestown Public Schools, to offer our artist in resident program. So what we do is we find an artist in resident, a professional artist in resident that we license and insure and all that. And then that professional artist goes into the schools and teaches. Right now they teach at each school 5 to 6 weeks. And Dr. Leck, I haven't talked to you about this, but we might revamp it a little bit and do it more like library hours. So she's in each school 2 days a week or something, and instead of just that. But we've talked to some of the principals and a lot of the teachers, and they like that idea. But I have a proposal for you about that, but I wasn't quite ready. Anyway, she goes in, right now it's Anna Brock, and it's going to be her 3rd year. That's as many years as we really want an artist in resident to be, because they get a little bit burned out. But we did sign a contract with her for again next year, and she's a 3D artist, so she does clay and she brings it into the schools, and they do tactical clay projects. She visits every K through 5th grade student in every K through 6th grade classroom in Jamestown Public Schools throughout the year. And right now, she's just finishing up at Roosevelt. So that's why here, it's our agreement again. It's our agreement time again, and I think you have that in your board packet. And if anybody has any questions about that, I would entertain them.
Any questions from the board?
They seem to be really scouring the campaign material. I like that.
Oh, yes, Aaron, go ahead.
Just wondered how the culinary arts, how that whole program has matured over the past few months here since the last time you came and talked to us.
Well, I don't have anything to do with the program. That's Adam. But as far as the space and all that, it should be ready. We had to sign a line of credit, but we should have the space ready for equipment delivery, hopefully in July. So I think.
The equipment is, we did a lot of collaboration on what the equipment selections are to meet our needs, and then for the program, and then obviously for their needs as well. That's all ordered. Install is to be scheduled upon when the room is ready. Just to make sure that there was sufficient time, we scheduled for next spring semester, so January would be our start date there. But everything's still looking like it's on time, and everything's ordered. It'll just be in boxes for a while until the room is ready.
Right.
In a few months, or a few meetings ago, you had a personnel hire form. We did hire a teacher, and sometimes you get lucky, and we have hired a teacher who's going to take care of ag ed for us, and also has culinary arts as a, like I said, every once in a while they get lucky. But I think she can do marketing and a few other things too. We're going to need to ask her about the CDL program. Maybe she has that in. Maybe she has that too.
Is she going to teach this culinary arts or just manage it?
She's yeah.
Culinary arts 1 and 2.
Yeah,
great.
1 and 2, yes.
I
So
wonder if she wants to work for us at night.
yeah. But not very often you can find people with multiple skill sets like that. But we felt very fortunate to have Amber Kropp coming in, and that was a hire form a few meetings ago.
And just to follow up then
Yeah.
too with that, have you had any community interest outside of the JPS?
A ton.
Yeah.
A
Can
ton.
you kind of just elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, there's people that do cottage kitchens, that are cottage, what do they call them? Cottage farmers, I guess, and they make like bread or salsa or something like that. And they want to rent the space so that they can sell it to the Frontier Village. Like we got a $25,000 grant from tourism because they could see the advantage of having local people promote their local products at the Frontier Village. So we've had a lot of those. We've had just people like, oh my gosh, I'm so interested in culinary kitchen classes, and just a lot. That's been a big turnout for people that are interested in our new project. It's really been a lot of fun. And then, of course, it'll open up into a green space so they can have that space for receptions and all that kind of stuff, which will also open up into our gallery. So it's just going to be the matter of finding teachers, but they always seem to come up from the woodwork someplace there. Or somebody says, hey, you should do a class on this. Well, hey, you should teach it, or do you know someone that does? And they usually do.
Any other questions for Mindy?
Again, we really appreciate our partnership with JPS and look forward to next year.
Thank you, Mindy. Moving on in our agenda, we have superintendent's report. Dr. Leck.
You do have my written report. Before I go through that report, just want to recognize that it is Teacher Appreciation Week this week. I want to make sure that we recognize our amazing teachers. We had 3 teachers and an administrator in the standards-based learning workshop here just starting at 4:30 today. And I can't speak for anybody else that was in there, but I was absolutely blown away. The quality of professionalism, pedagogy, knowledge, ability to apply, care for students. And I think those 3, as well as Mrs. Anderson, our principal that was in there, just great representatives of the profession and a great representative of all the teachers that work here for Jamestown Public Schools. Just amazing, and just want to thank them for their work that they do every single day, not just on Teacher Appreciation Week, but every week, and all the time that they put in. As far as my written report, the facility survey and community meeting, I kind of misstated the purpose of that meeting. When we have coming up at 6 o'clock in the Thompson Community Room next Monday, so a week from today at 6 o'clock, we'll have a review of the survey that is going out. So it came out to staff already. Later on this week, it's going to come out to the community. And the purpose of that meeting is not to review the results, because the results won't be finalized for another few weeks. The purpose is to review the survey itself. Walk people through, well, this is why we're asking this question. This is why this is structured this way. Make sure that we can answer any questions if they have them before they fill out their survey. So that's the purpose of that meeting. But that'll be coming up, and encourage anybody that's interested to come on May 12th at 6 o'clock right here in the Thompson Community Room. I've included as an action item, a letter of support that's been requested from the city of Jamestown on the extension of the Renaissance Zone. So this has happened a few different times. In 2000 originally, a renewal in 2015, and then another renewal in 2020. But what this does is it is incentivizing redevelopment and reutilization within a certain area of the community. It's 31 blocks around central Jamestown. And this has been in place for a number of years. Essentially, it incentivizes through an abatement, a tax abatement. We have supported those in the past. My recommendations have always been to support these in the past, because even though we are seeing a temporary reduction in that taxable value, there's a long-term benefit to revitalizing those properties. And so I would continue to support the extension of the Renaissance Zone program. I do think that although there are some downsides, such as the reduction in the temporary, I think the long-term impact certainly outweighs that. And it's identified since 2000, the program has increased taxable value by $400,000. So again, we don't see that in the short term, but we do see that benefit in the long term. And just with that, I'm going to pause if there's any questions on the Renaissance Zone.
Any questions on that? It's on your agenda under new business. Okay, continue.
Okay, very quickly in the legislative updates, we have finished legislative session. Highlight just a few different areas. What has come from a lot of different bills related to school choice. The school choice option that has been successful through the legislative session is Senate Bill 2241, and that is expanding options. North Dakota was one of 2 states, I believe, that did not have charter school legislation. So that's a public school option with a little bit more flexibility. That bill did pass, but bills related to education savings accounts, vouchers, those were all defeated or vetoed. 1369 is our K-12 funding formula. We are very, very hopeful that we would be at a 3%, 3%. With some formula changes, we knew that that was going to be unlikely. After crossover, when that came to 2 and 2, with all of those formula changes out, we were again hopeful that we could advocate successfully for declining enrollment schools like Jamestown and try to get the 3-year rolling average. Those were all unfortunately declined at this time, but what came from conference committee was ultimately 2.5% and 2.5%, so less than what we hoped, but still seeing an increase there from the per pupil as well. We're going to continue to fight for 3-year rolling average. Whether that's as impactful for Jamestown Public Schools moving forward in the future or not, it is still the right thing to do for North Dakota education, and I think we need to have a greater protection for those schools that are representing or that are seeing a declining in enrollment. One other area that I think is important to recognize, the property tax reform reduction bills have come through 1176. One of the areas that we need to be mindful and monitor in 1176 relates to the 3% limitation in dollars. We think in mills sometimes because we levy mills, but this is 3% limit in dollars. Okay, so that's going to be a pretty significant change when we already have caps in what we can levy. So the general fund has a cap. You know, the different levy authority have caps. Now there's going to be limits on the increase of dollars in a year. Now that does exclude new growth, and that gets a little more complicated. So there's a new growth component. I'm a little bit concerned about that because that's going to flow through auditors, and auditors interpret things in different ways. And so the state's going to have to be really clear about what does that new growth calculation mean. So that excludes new growth in that year. But that 3% limit in growth, when you're talking a 2.5% increase on per pupil on our funding formula, and you're seeing declining enrollment, those are trends that we don't like to see. So we're going to continue to advocate for declining enrollment. We'll continue to advocate for those weight changes and factor changes that we think are important. But that is where we are at for the next 2 years. The last bill that I'm going to reference is 1160, and that was the cell phone bill, or what was discussed as the bell-to-bell ban on student electronic devices like cell phones. And so we're going to have legislation moving forward that's going to institute that. We'll have to develop policy and make sure that we have protocols in place to continue to support a positive learning environment. The spotlight I have this week is one of our own, Mrs. Dooley, Tiffany Dooley. She teaches at Jamestown Middle School. She was named the 2025 Middle Level Student Council Advisor of the Year. We want to make sure that she is recognized for really a great honor. She works very, very hard to make sure that our students at the middle level get an outstanding experience in student council. We know that plays an important role for our students and their leadership, and we want to make sure that we recognize Tiffany for doing a great job. So with that, I would stand for questions.
Jason.
The community meeting, do we plan to live stream that or have it recorded for people to view?
That is something we would have to work through how we are going to do that, but it's something we've talked about. If we can, we certainly will try to record.
Any other questions? Okay. Not moving on our agenda. Nothing under old business, under new business, nothing under activities, buildings and grounds, curriculum assessment and instruction. Number 4, finance. A, request for letter of support for Jamestown Renaissance Zone. Is there a motion? Motion by Aaron, second by Steve. We have a motion and a second for a request for letter of support for Jamestown Renaissance Zone. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Moving into 5, operations. A, approval of the Artists in Residence Program. Is there a motion? Motion, Melissa? Second. Second by Jason. We have a motion and a second to approve the Artist in Residence Program. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Number 6, personnel. Approval of the resignation at the conclusion of the 2024 to 2025 school year. Number 1, Jennifer Redfern. Is there a motion? Motion by Melissa. Second by Dan. We have a motion and a second for approval of resignation at the conclusion of the 2024 to 2025 school year. Number 1, Jennifer Redfern. Any discussion? If not, yes, Jamie.
I just wanted to thank Mrs. Redfern. Her ability to make connections with our student was just invaluable, and we'll miss her. She was great.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, and thank you, Mrs. Redfern, for your service to our district. We have a motion and a second for approval. Any further discussion or questions? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. B, approve to hire for the 2025 to 2026 school year upon a successful background check and appropriate licensure. Number 1, Kathy, is it Clements Room. I want to make sure I pronounce that correct. Is there a motion? Motion by Jamie, second by Jason. We have a motion and a second for approval to hire for the 2025-26 school year upon a successful background check and appropriate licensure. Kathy Clements-Rude. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved, and welcome to our district. Number 7, policy and procedures. A, does anyone mind if we do these 1 through 5 together, or is there any you'd like to have pulled out? Good? Okay. Together? Okay. So we have number 1, amended DGGA, professional development, amended FGDB, student handbooks. 3, amended KACA, patron complaints. 4, amended KACB, complaints about personnel, with subsequent A, amended KACB-E, personnel complaint form. Number 5, amended KADA policy, weapons prohibited on school property. Is there a motion? Motion by Melissa. Second by Aaron. We have a motion and a second to approval of policies 1 through 5. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming, Aaron, no, okay. If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Under tuition, we have approval of tuition agreements for number 1, a Jamestown student. Is there a motion? Motion by Melissa. Second by Steve. We have a motion and a second for approval tuition agreement for a Jamestown student. Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, assuming roll call vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. We have nothing under other items for future agenda. Does the board have any items for future agendas this time? Okay. If not, please let Dr. Leckers and myself know. We have a few board announcements and future meetings, so I'll read through these. We have the Washington Open House on Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, to 5 to 7. And thank you to the teachers that are planning these events at Washington School. B, teacher negotiations meeting on Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in Thompson Community Room in the middle school. C, administrator negotiation meeting on Thursday, May 8th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. in the district office conference room. Health insurance committee meeting on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 3:45 in the district conference room. Community meeting for survey results on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 6 in the Thompson Community Room. Washington Fair Welfare on Tuesday, May 13th, 4 to 7. Administrator negotiation meeting on Thursday, May 15th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. in the district office conference room. And school board meeting on Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Thompson Community Room at the middle school. JPS high school graduation on Sunday, May 25th, 2025 at 2:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. Are there any that were missed or any other committees that were missed? Okay. Very good. Thank you. Moving on our agenda, possible executive session to discuss negotiation strategies.
Yes, I believe that discussion within our negotiations and developing a strategy relative to the school board's petition in this matter in open session would have an adverse fiscal effect on negotiations position of the board. Therefore, I move that the board enter into executive session and that the following members and negotiators be identified as being present. The school board members, so I have to read those off too. Okay. Jamie Baer, Melissa Gleason, Heidi Larson, Owen McKenna, Jacob Meyer, Aaron Roberts, Jason Rohr, Dan Tweeten, and Steve Veldkamp. Superintendent Rob Leck, and Business Manager Christy Grounds. And that the date and time are Monday the 5th at 6:10 p.m.
Motion, second? Second by Dan. Any discussion? Yep, and then, yes. Oh, are there any, yep, go ahead, Aaron. 2 conflicts, okay.
So I do have a in perpetuity conflict of interest that I believe is still open and needs to be voted on prior to me participating in the executive session.
Okay.
Same conflict of interest.
I would move that we allow our conflicts to enter into executive session at their will.
Okay. Motion and a second. Okay. Okay. Do we vote on that first? Vote on the conflicts. Yes. Okay. So Christy, you ready for that? Okay. So at this time, we have 2 conflicts declared. There's been a motion and a second to allow the conflicts. We will do a roll call vote because there has to be 100% yes on this, and then we'll do the executive session vote next. Go ahead.
Melissa Gleason. Owen McKenna.
Yes.
Jamie Bear. Heidi Larson.
Yes.
Jason Rohr.
Yes.
Jacob Meyer. Oh, he doesn't vote, sorry. Dan Tweeten.
Yes.
And Steve Veldkamp. 6-0.
Motion failed. Yep. We had on.
Yep, 6-0.
No, there's one. No.
Yep.
So, yep. So that motion failed.
6-0.
Now we're going to vote on,
Oh, it has to be unanimous.
yep. And now we're going to vote on the motion for the executive session that was stated by Owen and seconded by Dan. Okay. This doesn't have to be unanimous, right? So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. We will move into executive session. Please note that the board, following the executive session, no decisions will be made. The topic will be as stated, and the board will return here to finish up the remainder of the meeting after this.